What's going on, everybody? So I just got done watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and this was my most anticipated film of the year. Ever since it was announced that Pooh was going into the public domain, and they were developing this horror movie revolving Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, I was very excited, and I was really hoping that I would not be the barrier of bad news. The film tells the story of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet that become these rageful animals that turn into murderous cannibals after Christopher Robin ditches them to go off to college. Now, after a group of friends decide to spend time in the woods, they become the target for Pooh and Piglet. Now, a couple of things that I really enjoyed about this movie is the fact that the way that Pooh and Piglet look in this movie was kind of effective, and it actually worked, even though you could definitely tell that this film was made by college students who had $5, a stick of gum, some chapstick, and a copy of Your Next. The way that Pooh and Piglet look, the masks definitely look like they just came out of the Spirit Halloween store. Like they just went into a Spirit Halloween store. They got the most generic mask that you can possibly see, and they put it on a couple of lumberjacks, and it works to its effect. Whenever you are able to see them, it actually works, and it added just a little bit to the movie. The kills were also fantastic. There were some gnarly kills that I really enjoyed. A couple that I could have done without, mostly because just the way that it looked. But that goes to its budget. The way that it was shot and looked was not as effective as I wanted it to. The backstory that they get into within the first 5 minutes about how Pooh and Piglet basically had to eat their own people in order for them to survive, and now are monks and just have this vow of silence. They're not speaking to anybody, they're not speaking to each other, they're just walking around in silence. However, this is a film that is so bad, it's so much fun. I got what I paid for, and I could not expect this film to be any other way, because I absolutely had a couple of fun laughs in this film. The score in this movie, however, kind of almost took me out of the film just a little bit, mostly because the score in this movie takes it so seriously that it's hard for me to get invested in this movie that is very low budget, that is very awful, and it just almost takes me out of the film, because just a couple of notes here and there just make it very serious to a degree. However, when it was used well, it worked to have a creepy atmosphere, and that's when it worked very well. Aside from moments when it tried to take itself too seriously, that is when this film kind of almost lost me. There are a couple of dull moments here and there, which is something you kind of don't want to hear somebody say about a movie like this, but there were a couple of dull moments in this film from beginning to end. The characters in this film are passable, to say the least. You have one person who is very traumatized by something that happened in her past that actually worked. However, the scene that happens kind of takes its time, and it almost makes it feel very uncomfortable and unnerving. It feels like they were taking their sweet time with what was going on, and it almost ruined the movie for me just a little bit. The film is about an hour and 24 minutes, so it kind of flies by just a little bit, but that's mostly when you're just invested in the kills when it comes to this film. The cinematography and the editing and the camera style for this film is absolutely terrible. There is so much shaky cam that it's so hard to see a couple of the characters running and a couple of the kills here and there. Plus, whenever you are able to see Pooh and Piglet, it's shot very well. However, for the most part, they are shot in the dark, and it's very hard to see them whenever they are there to pop up, and it just doesn't work very well. It's not as effective as you want it to be, and it was just unnerving to see. I wish they would be able to have a little bit more when it came to the lighting and the cinematography. I get it, they were probably on a very low budget, but you could have shoved up a couple of dollars for a couple more lights just so we can see Pooh and Piglet in all their glory, because when you're able to see them it works, and they are scary as F. But you also have some of the dialogue in this film that kind of takes you out of the film. The thing that made me excited about this movie was the fact that back in December we had The Mean One, which is a parody of The Grinch, and I thought it knew exactly what it wanted to be, and it went for it. I got my money's worth for in that film, and yeah, that movie is a movie just like this one, so I'm going to be ripping the things that I did not like about this movie as well, even though there are a little bit more positives that I can take away from this movie. Would I still recommend you check this film out? Absolutely. If anything, just to say that you had a fun time or that you had a great laugh at its stupidity, because that's exactly what this movie is. I absolutely had a fun time. I got what I paid for, and even though there were a couple of moments in this movie where it dragged just a little bit and it almost lost my attention, when it came to the kills, I thought they were pretty effective. I thought they were really well done, and it worked when it needed to work, and it failed when it failed. But those are my thoughts on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Have you guys checked it out? Did you like it? Did you not? Was it what you paid for? Go ahead and drop those thoughts in the comments below. And if you saw The Mean One, go ahead and let me know which one you preferred more, this one or The Mean One. Go ahead and drop those thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.